Hey everybody, it's Bo Beery. The top real estate investing calculation that could save your butt is not cash on cash returns, cap rates, or IRRs. Stay tuned. Let's go! There's lots of calculations when you're buying multifamily assets or other commercial real estate assets, and they're all important and none of them can be ignored, but there's one metric that is always overlooked that takes into consideration everything else: cap rates, debt, expenses, income, vacancies. Guess what it is? It's the break-even occupancy percentage. Now, before we jump into the importance of this equation, let me give you the equation. It's total annual expenses plus total annual debt divided by total potential income. What I love about the break-even occupancy percentage is that it gives you the health of the asset in any 1 year of analysis, because it tells you how bad things would have to get before you start losing money. And we're gonna use what I call my quickie cash flow analysis spreadsheet. Everything that's in a green cell is an input cell and outputs everything in the white cells. It's a 2-tab spreadsheet. As you'll see here, we have cash flow pro forma at the bottom and an amortization analysis on the second tab. Where you can find this cash flow analysis spreadsheet is actually on my website that you can download at any time you'd like. Simply go to bobeery.com, click on resources, popular templates and guides. The quickie cash flow analysis can be found here, but I have also lots of other helpful templates. And depending on when you click on this might be located here or here or here as I continue to add documents. When you click on this spreadsheet, it opens up this template and you simply go to File and Download in order to download it to your desktop. Now I'll go over the assumptions of the property that we're gonna look at. So we have a 20-unit apartment complex that's roughly 17,000 square feet. We're buying it for $1.5 million, which is about $75,000 a unit. We're gonna assume a 70% loan to value. Here's our income, our other income, which would be application fees, pet fees, move out fees. Here's our vacancy, our debt terms. We're gonna assume a 3.5% 30-year amortization. And here's our expenses, which add up to $80,000, which is about $4,000 per unit per year. And of course, we have our break-even occupancy. On any spreadsheet, when you click on the cell, it'll show you the equation in the top left corner here. So here's the equation as we talked about before. It's total operating expenses, which is the $80,000, plus the total debt service of $56,000, which is calculated by taking all of these metrics and the amortization tab, that's a whole separate video, divided by the total income, which is the $180,000 in rents, plus the other income. The result, as we see, is a 74% occupancy break-even ratio. So what does that mean? Well, it could be said in several different ways. The first way is it means that you just need a 74% occupancy based on the current income, expenses, and debt to cover all of your expenses and debt and not lose money or make money. A second way to say it is that vacancy could drop 26% before you start losing money. Hey, if you're getting value out of this video so far, do what this guy is telling you to do. Give me a subscribe. But remember, this equation is not just about occupancy or vacancy, because that is just the product of income, debt, and expenses. This spreadsheet is looking at a first-year analysis. What if the income went up in the second year and you were doing a break-even analysis for years 2 and 3 and 4. If the income can go up in the second year, that would of course lower what your break-even occupancy needs to be in order to make money. Expenses play a major role in the break-even occupancy percentage as well. For instance, on property taxes, your year 1 property taxes may be $23,000. But in year 2, the property appraiser is going to find out there was a sale and they're going to raise your property taxes. When that happens, happens, the minimum break-even occupancy ratio you need to make money is also going to go up. As an example, it's a 74% occupancy. What happens if property taxes double, which is certainly possible? We come down here, now we're at an 87% break-even occupancy. In just that one exercise, we literally went from being able to have 26% vacancy and still make money to only 13%. Likewise, if you can save money on expenses, that will lower your break-even occupancy, and that's also a good thing. Now we'll take a look at the effects of debt on the break-even analysis ratio. Our debt service is $56,580, which is calculated by using these terms, which comes over from the amortization tab, and the actual total payments are $4,700 a month. This is the interest portion, the principal portion, and the ending balance. So you can see the $4,715 a month times 12 months will equate to the $56,000 annual debt service. Let's play around with some numbers. Let's assume that we couldn't get a 3.5% interest rate and we can only get 4%. We just went from 74 to 76%. Okay, let's take it back to the 3.5%. So we're showing our 74% break-even occupancy. Now let's look at the effect of down payment. What if we took it from 30% to 20%? Not much of a difference, but let me show you the biggest effect on break-even occupancy. Let's take this back to the 30%. So that we're showing our 74%. And let's change the amortization period from a traditional 30-year amortization to a 20-year. Woo! That's a 9% jump. The amortization period has the largest effect within the debt realm on your cash flows. I know having a shorter amortization period made you pay it off faster and you pay less interest over time. But the reality is, number one, the average hold period of a multifamily investment is 41 months, so you never get to lose that much interest over a 20 to 30 year period anyway. And number two, most acquisitions are done by syndicators right now, and syndicators are made up of investors, and they have to pay those investors a certain percentage on their money, which means their cash flows have to be super high. In order for the cash flows to be super high, you have to have a 30-year amortization or better, typically, to meet those returns paid to the investors. The break-even occupancy analysis incorporates every major calculation and metric used in investing in real estate. You've got purchase price. That affects it. Down payment, amount financed, your income, all of your expenses, all of your debt assumptions, cap rates, which are income minus expenses over purchase price. Everything goes into the break-even occupancy percentage. Another really important reason to use the break-even analysis calculations is to perform sensitivity analysis. For instance, in the example we're using, we have a break-even analysis of 74%. If this property has had a trailing 10-year average of 90% occupancy, I'm feeling pretty good about this investment because I've got a 16-point differential before I start to lose money. Now, on the other hand, in our current example, if the break-even occupancy was 86%, and the 10-year history on this property was 90%, I would start to feel really uncomfortable. Only having a 4% margin to play with before I start to lose money is not the game you want to play. Because remember, any one of these metrics could affect that 4% differential. The income could change just a little bit. The management fee could change just a little bit. Your insurance could go up or down just a little bit. Your debt, if you were initially interest only and then it resets to principal and interest payments, that could affect it. Once you start thinking about all the different variables that could affect your break-even occupancy analysis, it becomes more vital to have the biggest differential between its historical occupancy and your break-even analysis as possible. Thanks so much for giving me another listen. Give me a like and a subscribe below, and I'll see you on the next one.